गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन् ऊतिभिः सीदसादनम्। ॐ महागणपतये नमः। ॐ मेधादेवी जुषमाना न आगात् विश्वाची भद्रा सुमनस्यमाना त्वया जुष्टानुदमाना दुरुक्तान् बृहद्वदेम विदथे सुवीराः। त्वया जुष्ट ऋषिर्भवति देवे त्वया ब्रह्म गतश्रीरुतत्वया त्वया जुष्टश्चित्रं विन्दते वसुसानो जुषस्वद्रविणो न मेधे मेधां म इन्द्रो दधातु मेधां देवी सरस्वती मेधां मे अश्विना उभावा धत्तां पुष्करस्रजा अप्सरासु च या मेधा गन्धर्वेषु च यन्मनः दैवी ईं मेधा सरस्वती सामां मेधा सुप्रतीकाजुषन्ताम् आमा आं मेधा सुरभिर्विश्वरूपा हिरण्यवर्णा जगती जगम्या ऊर्जस्वती पयसा पिन्वमाना सामा आं मेधा सुप्रतीकाजुषन्ताम् मयि मेधां मयि प्रजां मयि अग्निस्तेजो ददातु मयि मेधां मयि प्रजां मयि इन्द्रियं ददातु मयि मेधां मयि प्रजां मयि सूर्यो भ्राजो ददातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशर्षिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थः ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ॐ नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तं तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अशुभानि निराचष्टे तनोति शुभसन्ततिं स्मृतिमात्रेण यत्पुंसां ब्रह्मतन्मङ्गलं परम्। अतिकल्याणरूपत्वात् नित्यकल्याणसंश्रयात् स्मर्तॄणां वरदत्वाच्च ब्रह्मतन्मङ्गलं विदुः। ओङ्कारश्चाथ शब्दश्च द्वावेतौ ब्रह्मणः पुरा कण्ठं भित्त्वा विनिर्यातौ तस्मान् माङ्गलिकावुभौ तस्मान् माङ्गलिकावुभौ ॐ अथ ॐ अथ ॐ अथ यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Today we begin Kenopanishad of the Sama Veda. It begins with a Shanti Patha which has been given to you. So I shall recite and Madhurima will recite twice after me. That is how we learn Vedic chants. We recite, the teacher recites once and the student recites twice. So let's begin. Om Apyayantu Mamangani.
Om Apyayantu Mamangani. Om Apyayantu Mamangani.
Vak Pranaschakshuhu.
Vak Pranaschakshuhu. Vak Pranaschakshuhu.
Shrotram Atho Balam.
Shrotram Atho Balam. Shrotram Atho Balam.
Indriyani cha sarvani.
Indriyani cha sarvani. Indriyani cha sarvani.
Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam.
Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam. Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam.
Maham Brahma Nirakuryam.
Maham Brahma Nirakuryam. Maham Brahma Nirakuryam.
Mama Brahma Nirakarot.
Mama Brahma Nirakarot. Mama Brahma Nirakarot.
Anirakaranamastu.
Anirakaranamastu. Anirakaranamastu.
Anirakaranam me astu.
Anirakaranam me astu. Anirakaranam me astu.
Tadatmani nirate.
Tadatmani nirate. Tadatmani nirate.
Ya Upanishad sudharmaha.
Ya Upanishad sudharmaha. Ya Upanishad sudharmaha.
Te mai santu, te mai santu.
Te mai santu, te mai santu.
Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi.
Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi.
Om Apyayantu Mamangani. Vak Pranaschakshuhu Shrotram Atho Balamindriyani cha sarvani. Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam. Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Ma Brahma Nirakarot Anirakaranam Astu Anirakaranam Me Astu Tad Atmani Nirate Ye Upanishadsu Dharmaha Te Mai Santu Te Mai Santu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So this is the opening prayer of the Sama Veda. And so, as we have seen earlier, the four Vedas, the Rig, Yajur, Sama and Atharva Vedas, in which Kenopanishad comes in Sama Veda. Sama Veda is the most beautiful of the Vedas because of the musical chants, and Sama Vedis are also fewer in the country. Very, very important, especially for Soma Yajnas. And it was sung by the Udgatra. And so here, the Sa refers to Rig mantras of the Rig Veda. Rig means mantras of the Rig Veda. Ama refers to the musical notes. So Sama are mantras of the Rig Veda set to music. So it is said that Sama Veda had 1,000 branches. It was 1,000 branches of the Sama Veda, and today only 3 are available. Only 3 branches are available. Kauthuma is one Kauthuma branch or Shakha. The second one is called Ranayaniya Shakha. The third is called Jaiminiya Shakha. Jaiminiya Shakha. The Jaiminiya Shakha is also called Talavakara Shakha. Jaiminiya Shakha and Talavakara Shakha is the same. So when you take the page given to you, it opens with Sama Vediya Talavakara Shakhiya. So this Upanishad is in the Talavakara Shakha. Talavakara Shakhiya Samavediya Jaimini Brahmanasya. So it is the Brahmana portion. Ishavasya Upanishad was the Samhita portion of the Veda, right? Samhita portion. And this one is what? This is the Brahmana portion. And here, so Antima Chaturtha Adhyaya Rupa. So there are 9 Brahmanas, and this is the 9th Brahmana. There are 9 Brahmanas portions, and this is the 9th one. And it is called Talavakaropanishad. The name of this Upanishad is Talavakaropanishad, or the alternate name is Aparanama Kenopanishad. So when you say Talavakara Upanishad, it refers to the original name of Jaiminiya Shakha. When you say Kenopanishad, which is how it is popularly known, it takes the first word of the Upanishad mantra, Kena-ishitam patati preshitam manaha, Kena prana prathama praiti yuktaha Kena-ishitam vachamimam vadanti chakshushrotram kau devo yunakti. So Kena-ishitam, Kena-ishitam is the first two words. So it is called Kena-Upanishad. What is Kena-Upanishad? Kena-Upanishad is Kenopanishad. A and U becomes O, Gunasandhi. But what it means is Kena iti Upanishad. The Upanishad which begins with Kena, quote unquote, Kena iti, quote unquote, Upanishad. So Kena-Upanishadaha Padabhashya Upodghatam. This is called the Padabhashyam, the introductory Bhasyam. And this introductory Bhasyam, like all other Bhasyam, this one also begins with a Prarthana. And what is the Prarthana? The Prarthana is for, beautiful Prarthana for oneself really. It's a very beautiful Prarthana. So one point I want to make is, while we say that it is a repeat of the Rig Veda set to music, there are some mantras which are original to Sama Veda. They say about 75 mantras are original to Sama Veda and the rest are repeat of the Rig Veda put in musical form. So here let us look at the Shanti Patha. Apyayantu mama angani. So apyai, pyai means to grow. So mama angani, may they grow. Vriddhim bhavatu, may my limbs grow. In what? In power, basically may my limbs be strong. Apyayantu mama angani. So let my limbs be strong. May my limbs be strong. Not only my limbs, he says, Vak pranaha chakshuhu shrotram. This my speech, my prana, my vital force, eyes and ears. Atha u. Further, balam. Let my sense organs grow in strength, not go in age, So I have to keep asking, what? What did you say? Huh? So with this kind of a hearing problem, I cannot do Shravanam properly, right? So let my sense organs also vriddhim prapnuvantu. Balam, let them be strong, let them grow in power. Therefore, Vak pranaha and prana shakti also. Otherwise, prana goes, with all the inner weight we carry of all our dukkham, our prana shakti also goes down. Breathing becomes shallow, we don't breathe properly, we give up on life before life gives up on us. Yeah. So let that not happen. And indriyani cha sarvani. Let all the limbs, let all the sense organs grow and be strong, in capacity. Okay. So why? Because if I am strong, my equipment is strong, I will see things clearly. I will have clarity. My buddhi will work clearly. When prana shakti is there, that's why people ask, what is the value in chanting? I hear this often, Why should we chant? Is a big question. Okay, don't chant. You just remain where you are. So, chanting increases the prana shakti. Try reciting Sanskritam. You need tremendous stamina. It's not easy to recite. you recite Rudram regularly, you see how your prana shakti grows. You see the tejas, the radiance that comes on the face. People who do anushtanas of Vedic chanting, Veda Parayanam and so on, there is a glow, because your prana is moving properly through all the nadis, through the major, minor nadis. Your whole energy is different. And so, when that happens, then Sarvam Brahma, this strength I require to know what? Sarvam Brahma. All that is here is Brahman. Which Brahman? What Brahman? Brahman as revealed in the Upanishads. And therefore Brahman is called Upanishadam Brahma. So Upanishadi Bhavaha, Brahman which is in the Upanishad, Brahman as revealed in the Upanishad, that Brahman is everything, And that Brahman I wish to know. I wish to know that Brahman as all that is here is Brahman. I only know what is here is the computer, the TV, the camera, the lights. That's what I see. But Upanishad says all that is here is Brahman. And this Brahman, ma aham, ma nirakuryam, aham ma nirakuryam Brahma. So nirakurya means nis plus a plus kr. So kr with nis, what is it saying? It's saying ma nirakurya, may I not reject. May I not reject what? Brahma. Why would you reject Brahma? Because I don't see it. I don't see Brahman, and therefore what I don't see does not exist. Do you see rabbit horn? Do you see a human being's horn? Shasha Shringa, Manushi Shringa. Do you see Ammaji's horn? Come on. Do you see? I'm having doubt now whether I have one. No answer. Okay, you don't see Ammaji's horn. Why do you not see? Because it doesn't exist. How should I see something which doesn't exist? So, Shraddha I can have, if I know it exists. But I don't see Brahman. Therefore, my Shraddha is weak. Does it really exist? If it exists, I should see it. This is a funny logic. If it exists, I should see, and because I don't see, it doesn't exist. This logic is no logic. Because there are many things in this world you don't see and they exist. Do you see the amoebas? But they exist. How do you know? My lungs have phlegm. So I know. Right? So it's not that these eyes see everything. But our faith is always, we are all doubting Thomas, We keep doubting. Is it true? Can this really be true? And in this doubt, samshayatma vinashyati. We destroy ourselves with doubt, and therefore the prayer is, Bhagavan, may I not doubt your existence. Maham brahma nirakuryam. Aham ma nirakuryam brahma. Brahma is the object case. Brahma, brahmani, brahmani, second case. So, may I not reject Brahman. The second line is more interesting. Ma Brahma nirakuryam mam. So, mama you have, no? The second ma there is mam. May Brahman not reject me. I not rejecting is one level. What do you do if the infinite says, I'm done with you, just go get lost, you are irretrievable? What if Brahman rejects me? In other words, what if that Daiva Anugraham, the divine blessing, divine intervention, I'm working for this, but things must work for me too. So, that divine blessing must come to me, that little magic must come to me where I cannot miss what is to be seen. So he says, let Brahman not reject me. Mama Brahma nirakarot. Anirakaranam astu. Anirakaranam me astu. So let there be astu, anirakaranam. This denial, both ways, mutual denial, not be there. For me, Brahman rejecting me or me rejecting Brahman, both sides, may this not ever happen, Let both sides be clear for this knowledge to occur and stay with me. And so he says, Tad Atmani Nirate Ye Upanishad Su Dharmaha Te Dharmaha Mai Santu. Ye Te, okay, subordinate clause, Ye and Te. Te Mai Santu is your main sentence. Te Dharmaha Mai Santu. Let those dharmas be in me. Te dharmaha mai santu. Let those dharmas be in me. So, what dharmas which are told in the Upanishad? What is told in the Upanishad as dharma? Satyam vada. Swadhyaya pravachanabhyam ma pramadaha. May you not neglect your swadhyaya, your pravachana, your satyam, right? Deva pitru karyabhyam. So your deva karyam, your pitru karyam, there's lot of duties you have towards your ancestors, towards the devatas, all that. So whatever the Veda has said you to do them. May you not neglect, those are your duties. So Upanishad Su Dharmaha. And what are the other Upanishad dharmas? Upanishads say in Mundaka Upanishad, Prashanta Chittaya, Samanvitaya, it talks about Prashanta Chittam. So it talks about certain values, qualities. May, he says, may those Upanishad Su Ye Dharmaha Te dharmaha mai santu. Let those dharmas be there in me. Why you? Because tad atmani nirate. So, I am that person who is engaged in Atma, in pursuing Atma. Atmani nirate. Mai. I am the person who is engaged in Atma, in self-knowledge, and therefore let these dharmas abide in me. It is a prayer of a seeker. And so repeated twice where two reasons. One, to show completion of the prayer. Secondly, to show the emphasis. This prayer is for seeking grace, for sattva guna to be always there in me. Let me not give way to rajas and tamas. Let me be there in sattva guna. That means what? That I get up early in Brahma Muhurtam and I do my duties, my yoga, my meditations, whatever I require to do to remain in the sattvic space, that I have the discipline to do all of that. And so, let that grace be there upon me. So this is the prayer. Let us recite one more time. I'll recite once and you will repeat once. Om Apyayantu Mamangani.
Om Apyayantu Mamangani.
Vak Pranaschakshuhu.
Vak Pranaschakshuhu.
Shrotram Atho Balamindriyani Cha Sarvani.
Shrotram Atho Balamindriyani Cha Sarvani.
Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam.
Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam.
Maham Brahma Nirakuryam.
Maham Brahma Nirakuryam.
Mama Brahma Nirakarot.
Mama Brahma Nirakarot.
Anirakaranamastu Anirakaranam me astu.
Anirakaranamastu Anirakaranam me astu.
Tadatmani nirateya upanishatsu dharmaha.
Tadatmani nirateya upanishatsu dharmaha.
Te mai santu, te mai santu.
Te mayi santu, te mayi santu.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
So with this prayer completion, we recite Shanti Mantra 3 times, as you know. So Adhyatmika Tapa, Adi Bhautika Tapa and Adi Daivika Tapa. 3 types of obstacles to eliminate. We have threefold Shanti. And now begins the Upanishad. Kena-ishitam ityadi Upanishad.
Kena-ishitam ityadi Upanishad.
Parabrahma Vishaya Vaktavya iti.
Parabrahma Vishaya Vaktavya iti.
Navamasya Adhyayasya Arambhaha.
Navamasya Adhyayasya Arambhaha.
Good. So, Kena-ishitam, Kena-ishitam. Desired by whom is the opening 2 words. Kena, by whom. So, Kim, when you take the substantive Kim, Kaha Kauke, Kam Kaukan, Kena, Kabhyam Kaihi. So, Kena is by whom. Ishitam, ish to desire. Ishitam past tense, desired. Ish plus ta, and ta, ish being a sate root, it takes idagama, so you get ishita. So desired by whom? Iti. The iti, whenever you see iti in a sentence, the previous words are quote unquote. So Kena-ishitam quote unquote iti ityadi Upanishad. This quote, etc., means whatever else is going to follow, Upanishad is Upanishad. This Upanishad Parabrahma Vishaya Vaktavya. The Upanishad is a feminine word, and therefore the Upanishad has to be declared or said Vaktavya, Tavya Pratyaya with Vach is the Karmani Prayoga, passive voice, passive construction. So the Upanishad should be said as what? Parabrahma Vishaya. The Upanishad should be described as one which talks about, whose subject matter is Parabrahma. The Upanishad should be talked about as one whose subject matter is Parabrahma. So, Parabrahma Vishaya, Bahuvrihi compound, Upanishad being feminine, Parabrahma Vishaya, feminine, nominative singular, Vaktavya, nominative singular. Param cha tad Brahma cha is Param Brahma. So, Karmadharaya compound, Param cha tad Brahma cha. So, it describes Brahma as Param. Then Param Brahma Vishayaha Yasyaha. Param Brahma is the Vishaya Yasyaha, for which Upanishad? Sa Upanishad. That Upanishad, has to be spoken of in that manner. So, Parabrahma Vishaya is a Bahuvrihi compound describing the Upanishad. Anya Pada Pradhana word it is, Bahuvrihi. Okay. So, it should be talked about as Parabrahma Vishaya, and in this manner, what? Navamasya Adhyayasya Arambaha. So, in this Brahmana portion, it is the beginning of the 9th chapter. Okay, 8 chapters have already gone by. 9th chapter begins with Upanishad. Whatever mantra is here is a subject matter of the Upanishad. What do you know by now what is happening? Adi Shankara does not want these mantras to get stuck in the karma portion. Why? Because the first 8 chapters of the Brahmana discusses the karma and the upasanas. And he does not want the Upanishad mantras to be called a upasana mantra or a karma mantra. Then what? It is to be declared as Upanishad. So take this out separately, right? So Navamasya Adhyayasya Arambaha. In this manner, A plus Rab plus Ach is Arambha. The beginning of the chapter, of the 9th chapter. Thus the 9th chapter of the Brahmana begins. Our challenge is we don't know what is the first 8. So we don't know what is the 9th. We don't know, it doesn't matter whether it is in the 9th or whether it is the 15th, it doesn't matter. But to Shankara it matters. Remember, 1000 years ago, this is an oral tradition. There is no writings. So people are just reciting the mantras. So in that, the 8 chapters are for karma and upasana, and 9th for the Upanishad. The latter, Uttara Bhaga, this separation has to be made, and therefore his commentary, he makes the purpose very clear. If you don't make this separation, then the Adhikari will be different, the Anubandha Chatushtayam will be different. Now Anubandha Chatushtayam will go into the Karma Kanda, but Anubandha Chatushtayam of Jnana Kanda is different, Therefore, Adhikari, Vishaya, Prayojanam and Sambandha is different. And therefore, this set of mantras have to be grouped under the Upanishad block. And so he declares that in the beginning itself. And then he says, Prak etasmat.
Prag etasmat.
Karmani asheshataha parisamapitani.
Karmani asheshataha parisamapitani.
So, etasmat prak. Prak the upapada. Prak the preposition. The word connected to prak takes the 5th case. when we did fifth case in Antoine book 1, if you look at the prepositions, there prak, the upapada, connected word goes to the fifth case, and therefore etasmat prak. Before this, etasmat prak, before this, before what? What he has just finished telling, were you not listening? Before this means just before the 9th chapter. Just before the beginning of the 9th chapter. What was there? Karmani asheshataha parisamapitani. So karmas have been concluded, brought to a completion. Parisamapitani. Karma topic has been brought to a completion. Asheshataha, without any remainder, without any baki, without any shesha. Asheshataha. So shish is the root. Shish becomes shesha by ghanj or something like that, shesha. And then shesha plus tasil. Tasil pratyaya is a tadhita pratyaya added to the substantive. So shesha plus tasil, sheshatas. Sheshatas is asheshat. Sheshatas is sheshataha. Na sheshataha, asheshataha. Shesha means balance. Na shesha means without a balance. Without a balance is ashesha. Without leaving any karma hanging. Parisamapitani. Without any balance, before the 9th chapter, karma has been brought to completion. Not only it has been brought to completion, where? Etasmat prak, before the 9th chapter, before the beginning of the 9th chapter. That means chapters 1 to 8 have been discussed and completed. What topic was completed? Karma was completed there. What else was told there? Samasta karmashraya bhutasya cha pranasya upasanani uktani. Not only karma has been talked about in the first 8 chapters, even upasana has been talked about. So understand karma and upasanas. Upasanas means meditations. People who were living in society were meditating also. When they were achieving their material ends, they were also adept in upasana. Upasana is saguna brahma vishaya manasa vyaparaha. Upasana is, saguna brahma, worshipping the deities and so on, in form, in sound. And they were upasakas. We see upasakas in our society. Hanuman upasaka, Devi upasakas. And they become very connected to the higher world, by living just normal life. They need not be a seeker to be an upasaka. Upasana comes in the earlier portion itself. Nowadays what happens is, anybody closes their eyes in meditation, he becomes a big spiritual seeker. It was never like that. It was normal life. People meditated on their Ishta Devatas, on their deities, for small ends in life. Also they meditated. For clarity, for purification, they meditated. These are all called upasanas. And therefore, samasta karmashraya bhutasya, karmashraya rupasya cha pranasya. So there is an upasana called pranopasana. pranopasana. So the upasana on prana, uktani, they have also been described in chapters 1 to 8. So not only karma has been described, upasana, pranopasana was also described. What else was described? Karmanga,
Karmanga,
Sama Vishayani cha.
Sama Vishayani cha.
So Karmanga Sama Vishayaha Yasya. So Karmanga Sama Vishaya. So Karmanga Sama. So the mantras were described which were Anga, a limb to the karma portion. So karma was described, upasana was described, and mantras which are connected to karma were described. Not only that, there is another called Gayatra Sama, which was also talked about in the first 8 chapters. So he says, Anantaram cha
Anantaram cha
Gayatra Sama Vishayam
Gayatra Sama Vishayam
Darshanam
Darshanam
Vamshantam Uktam.
Vamshantam Uktam.
The karyam, that word is not there. In many versions, the word is not necessary. So he says, one more thing was described, Anantaram. It's an indeclinable word. Afterwards, Gayatra Sama Vishayam Darshanam. So Gayatra Sama Upasana. These are different forms of upasanas. We have even lot of Taittiriya Upanishad, the whole Shikshavalli is filled with upasanas. Many upasanas are talked about in the earlier portion to the Upanishad. And not only that, Vamshantam Uktam, the lineage, the Guru Shishya lineage, Vamsha, is the Guru Shishya Parampara, the clan of Guru Shishya. So lineage was also mentioned at the end of that section. Imagine, no? This is the Bhashyakara telling all this, the whole lineage has been also described. That is the subject matter from chapter 1 to 8. So, all this portion is for what? What was that said? Now look at the next paragraph. Okay. So you understand this much? He is saying from 9th chapter call it the Upanishad. Before 9th chapter, etasmat prak, what has gone by is karma, pranopasana, karmanga sama, gayatra sama mantras. These have been described in the first 8 chapters. Sarvam etad yathoktam karma cha.
Sarvam etad yathoktam karma cha.
Jnanam cha.
Jnanam cha.
Samyak anushtitam.
Samyak anushtitam.
Nishkamasya mumukshoho.
Nishkamasya mumukshoho.
Sattva shuddhyartham bhavati.
Sattva shuddhyartham bhavati.
So he is saying all this, all what? All these things, what has been said, yathoktam, sarvam etad yathoktam. What has been said? What was described in the earlier paragraph? What has been said is the karma, the pranopasana, the karmanga sama and the gayatra sama, all these have been said, but when this is performed, samyak anushtitam, when this is performed properly by a mumukshu also performs. You may want knowledge, but you are in grahastha ashrama. What will you do? You will do all these karmas and upasanas with only one purpose. Hey Bhagavan, may I do my duties properly so that my rinam goes away. My karma rinam is reduced. Sattva shuddhi is called antakarana shuddhi. All these karmas are meant for one purpose. Antakarana shuddhi. Sattva shuddhyartam. Sattva means manaha. So sattvasya shuddhi, sattva shuddhi. Sattva shuddhi, when artham means for the sake of. Artham, the word gives you the meaning of for the sake of. So for the sake of purification. People ask, why should I remain in marriage? We both don't align together. We have nothing in common. Why should I remain in marriage? You should have said that before getting married, After having 3 children and, settling down in a big, investing in so many things, now you say, why should you be married means what? Then we will answer you, Sattva Shuddhyartham. Ammaji, I am not interested in married life. I've seen it all. I just want to come and live with you rest of my life. Really? Why? Because I am a mumukshu. You may be a mumukshu, but you have duties, no? But I have no karma. I don't want this anymore. You can't simply walk out after having created a half a dozen around you. So therefore, what should I do? You take it as a platform for your growth. Manasaha shuddhyartham, for your purification. No, my mind is very pure. How do you define pure mind? A mind is pure when its reactions reduce, where there is prasada buddhi, where there is Ishvara arpana buddhi. If Bhagavan has entered your life, then you are purified. But if you are fighting the world, fighting your husband, fighting your children, fighting your mother-in-law, fighting everything, then we have a long way to go for sattva shuddhi. And therefore, even though I am a mumukshu, I use karma and upasana for my sattva shuddhi. That he says very beautifully here. Sarvam etad yathoktam karma jnanam cha. Jnanam here, note carefully, it is upasana. Jnanam, the word is used for upasana, not atma jnanam. Karma and upasana samyak anushtitam, when it is done properly, with karma yoga attitude, properly means with a arpana buddhi, then nishkamasya mumukshoho, for a mumukshu, for a spiritual seeker, sattva shuddhyartham bhavati. The same karma empowers you, empowers you differently, it purifies you. Same upasana becomes a tool for something more. It cleanses and brings focus, naischalyam, it brings single pointedness. So which is all very important for the mumukshu. Nishkamasya mumukshoho. Nirgataha kamaha yasmat is nishkamaha, one from whom kama is gone. Nishkamaha. Nirgataha kamaha yasmat saha. Tasya nishkamasya. And what about sakamasya? What about the one who has kama? a materialist, what about him? What happens who he does not have upasana, he is pure kama and he does all these karmas. What will happen to him? What will happen to him? His karmas will not purify his mind. Then what will it do? He says, Sakamasya tu jnanarahitasya.
Sakamasya tu jnanarahitaha.
Rahitasya. Kevalani shrautani.
Kevalani shrautani.
Smartani cha karmani.
Smartani cha karmani.
Dakshina marga pratipattaye.
Dakshina marga pratipattaye.
Punaravrittaye cha.
Punaravrittaye cha.
Bhavanti.
Bhavanti.
Okay, so this section tells us when you do karma and upasana, right, then as a jiva on earth, you are living in a certain manner with a certain philosophy of life. Now, at the time of death, what happens to this person? Depending on what has been his calling, accordingly he will move onward in his journey without the body, because the soul will continue to live on. If he is a nishkami, if he is a seeker, he is doing karma and upasana purely for purification, for no result as such, karma result, but for my duty, for my purity, then his journey is different. His journey is what? After death, his journey will take him to higher worlds where it can take him up to Brahmaloka, where he will be given Brahma Vidya, this knowledge of oneness that will complete his journey of life. Karma and upasana can take a soul up to Brahmaloka. But suppose there is somebody who does the Vaidika karma, Shrauta karma, Smarta karma, but there is no upasana. What will happen to him? Shrautani, Smartani cha karmani kevalani. Okay, but he is a sakami, he is a desirer. And jnana rahitaha, he has no upasana, he only does karma, no upasana. But he does Shrauta karma, Smarta karma, he follows the rules properly. What happens to him? He goes to the southern path, Dakshina marga pratipattaye. It is meant for going to the Dakshina marga. And Dakshina marga, what does it do? It brings you back to the earth. The northern path called the Shukla Gati, Bhagavad Gita calls it the Shukla Gati. It takes you to the higher world, and if it is pure desiring karmas for your desires, there is no contemplations in that. You take the southern part called Dakshina Marga, and once you take to Dakshina Marga, you will come back. Punara Vrittaye bhavati, you will come back again and again. Then he is going to say, we will see that later, there is a third path. So there is a northern path, Shukla Gati. There is a Dakshina Marga, southern path or Krishna Gati. Then there is a third path. And what is this third path? When you do Pratishiddha karma. When I do karmas that I am not supposed to do, which is, he says, ashastriya karma. Swabhavikya ashastriyaya pravritya. When he does karmas which are based on instincts, which are not connected to dharma, then those people after their death, where do they go? They get adhogati, they go down. Adhogati. Down means what? They get other births, like kita, like insects and this and that, smaller pashu, etc. They get lower births. Once you become a human being and you live in a human way, even when you take another birth, you come back for an improved human birth. But if somebody has been living animalistically, violating the humaneness and going against the moral order, then that person is a animal pravritti. And therefore he will be born as animals. From human he gets a drop into adhogati. So he describes, we will see more in detail, the journeys, different movement of the soul in the infinite travel through time, how karmas take you to different directions of one's journey. That is the theme of this paragraph, and more we will see in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.